Fuel for Dreams, collaboration with Soldier Blue and Catherine White. Night falls. A cool jewel, the spark and shine of a crisp blade made the sharper by intent. The piercing glint of a keening bayonet, the signs of battle, yea, a weary word sometimes. The small, nasty wars that never make the headlines, and yet the people, the habitants of red earth, lay just as still, flesh caressed by the streaming sounds of river, just as lifeless, a waterway meant to be life, a human being meant to live for the span of their times. Yea, the searing wails of the women without husbands, the children seeking parents, still shot hands in an eternal state of repose, men watching the soft earth bless the flesh of families born unto a travel in silence. Yea, we've heard this all before. Shrapnel tearing through houses, armor-piercing rounds in marital status, with the sanguine genes spilled in endless imagery across the sodden ground. Venezuela, the new millennium, a new president, someone for the people, southern climes, and earth people's northern grounds, a dead zone, the petrol, a sickness of greed, for which they have no need except for the mestizos, yeah, mixed, the gray men, there for themselves, for the public, that will more than not never have a vehicle that needs petrol of one kind or another. And the southern climes of the southern climes, natural earth for plants, food, a better fuel, yeah. Protesters wanting life, no fossil fuel required. And in the north, the people hear the same stories.
As land continues to be stolen, while the green and soft valley is below, another slick deal is in the process. First Wind has a wind project, $136 million, a 27-tower project, generating 69 megawatts of electricity where the people live, in ragged homes now lethal, in lands where two of the largest native nations have practiced sacred religious ceremonies for thousands of years. They tell the Penobscot nation nothing. Never consulted about the use of their lands. First Wind claim they met with tribal leaders. Yeah, a familiar story. Stating they received a letter of no objection. Now they claim they are willing to discuss the tribe's concerns. It has been discussed. The Passamaquoddy tribe has made it clear your wind project full of hot air you are trying to blow up the backsides of the people is too close to cultural and spiritual sites. Traditional people have already spoken to this issue, and as usual, they are overridden by the bottom dollar. Always they seem to land on the bottom when the greed of those who want more come to the foreground. The people fall into the background, again and again and again. Yea, we have seen your willingness to discuss with sleepy eyes and boredom as the people's cries go out and the machines of progress move on exactly as you would have it, and the sacred lands are desecrated for your new BMW and golf courses. 1987, and not the beginning. It was a means to an end.
And the YU people who were promised roads, work, compensation along the border of Venezuela and Colombia, their lands, what they received from the gates of the coal mining 2 miles in front of them at the streamside of Paseo del Diablo, was the darkness of a similar definition. A death by any other name is still a death. Fouled waters, poisoned earth, the mist of an under-earth monster. the debilitation of a people's traditional way of survival. Yes, so sorry, you're dead. And so the people strap on red headbands, affix the solidarity of their beliefs to their flesh, and ask those who speak so kindly of them why the death and starvation that looms with the clack of skeletal teeth outside their doors is a constant companion instead of life. The lights of the night, flickering the blades of progress, oppose the traditional ways of southern native earth, and offer only condolences as the people gather and ask with their hearts in their eyes, why? Yea, 2005 unto today, the smoke from these fires burn in the hindsights of our periphery as the darkness threatens to swallow people indigenous of the earth who have no bank accounts, only their hands and the strength of will, and the beliefs that one of their own should be taking care of them. Yeah, how about that, President Chavez? Yeah, can you of the USA see these who suffer for your fossil-fueled dreams? Or are you too wrapped in chemical cocoons to hear the screams behind the green screens of your TVs?
The Washpee Wampanoag tribe in the cold of Maryland's harsh winters, trying to recover from nearly 4 centuries of colonization and neglect, entered into it in 1621. The Mashpee people held their lands through 17th century deeds, protecting hearth and home as best they could, struggling with hunger and the constant loss of land as those who were supposed to be protecting them were allotting individual parcels, soon taxed or sold out of tribal hands. Senator Dawes and the Dawes Act, designed to break up tribal communities and culture, came into play, and the people were once again told, sorry, your homes and land are gone. And as they tried to find home and hearth, and the land continued to be stolen, they waited, and now waiting more than 30 years for the Interior Department to process petitions for federal acknowledgement. The Mashpee Wampanoag are desperately lacking, hungry, no homes and no education for their children. Yeah, they have heard it all before, and those who've read Earth hear it again and again as they fight for survival in a hostile holocaustal environment, asking why.
These who were from the time of 2005 to 2011, do you think they yet live? Do you think they care about someone else's New Age deranged visions of the end of days? When the flames of death, yea, in the darkness from the shadow of swift nightfall, I hear their thin screams, 'neath the echoed fold of lean wings, ravens and old crows. Do you think they care? Do you think they yet live? I hear them from the distant curves of sacred hills where you can just see the carved stelae storied stones as we walk hand in hand, walking each other home, as we move in the sacred dance ever on, along the slow miles of the ghost road.